Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. So let's take a look at the Icon and the Snap-on pistol grip needle nose pliers. I'll pull the stickers off in just a sec. A couple of differences from a distance to notice. There is a color difference. This is a little bit smoother and kind of more little bronzish gray. This is a little more silvery, satin, bead blasted almost. What that looks like. As far as the tips go, they are slightly different. This one's a little smaller in profile than this one. The springs are very similar. The handles are very similar. The profiles of the jaws are very similar. And then there's also a crosshatch and knot. So those things are things that could tell them apart. So I can tell right away with that crosshatch pattern right there and the sheen, you know, kind of the finish work on that, that this is going to be the Icon. If I can get this thing off of here. And then, there it is. Then this one, of course, then is the Snap-on. But let's dig a little bit deeper into these things. They are very similar. You know, as far as other tools go, these two, you know, you might consider identical. But there are some real subtle differences besides those that I pointed out. Here's one. If you look at this, this is the Icon here. I've got a set of kind of grippy little Snap-on pliers here. Watch the indentation as I squeeze into that. Just kind of smash some of this stuff. Okay, and here's the Snap-on. See that? It holds the imprint a little bit longer. What does that mean? I have no idea. I was just discovering some differences between them. And I was thinking, it's a little squishier, so how could I measure that? And I started pinching it with different things and noticed it has a little more resilience. Both of them clear up almost immediately, but this does have just a little bit more of I don't know, it's almost an intangible, but a feel to it that you're just melding a little bit more with the tool. And that's the best that I could do to kind of show that, is just when you smash it down, it really, you know, I don't know, almost like memory foam versus the Icon here. I mean, it doesn't hold it much at all, just a split second. Anyway, splitting hairs there. I wanted to go into the teeth here, and I have not tried this on these two yet, but and that has to do with the hardness. But first, if we take a close look, you can see there is a difference. The depth looks very similar, but there is a crosshatch pattern. A lot of people complain that things wear out like this. You know, where you've just got a little bit of, oh, look at this on the Snap-on. Interesting. I just felt that. So this is the Snap-on USA one here, and there is a fairly significant, if I can get that to focus, burr right there on the end. Come on, camera, warm up. Look at that. I don't think I've dropped these. Right there on the finish work. Now you can see it's pretty substantial. What is that thing? Is that just a... I haven't looked at these under magnification before. There's an indentation in the metal there. So, Snap-on CQ. Anyway, let's go ahead and try to measure some of the hardness here. So I'm going to start out, go ahead and jump all the way out to my HRC 65 just to see. So here is, this is the Snap-on here, and I'm just going to go right in. Does it have any trouble scratching that? Interesting. It scratches it. It felt like it scratched down here, but maybe it's just the coating. Let's go up and go ahead and try the teeth here, especially right at the end. I was going to just grind them on a Nicholson file and see. I'm not getting a scratch on that. Maybe there, but it's hard to tell. Sometimes you can just fold the very tips, but let's go down a little. This is the 60 here. Let me flip it over. Maybe assuming they're equally heat treated. So focus in. I'm not getting any scratch with a 60. Let's try the icon here. Here's the icon. Whoa. Look at that. Let's go down to the 55. Let me flip it over here to a fresh piece. I'm going to run out. This keeps going down. Okay. So it's between 55 and 60. Get that to focus there. That's not. Here is my 60. Interesting. Oh, there it is. Because I could feel it. Was the 55 scratching it? We have to try it on this side here. Tilt it with the light. Yeah. There we go. Check it out. That is soft. Hard to get that focus. Let me go down. So this one's the 55. So here is the 50. Go up here. Okay, so this is less than 55 but more than 50. And on the snap-on here, we'll go up here as a 60. So I'm getting a 60 scratch. Let's go to the 55 again. This little spot right there. Is that scratching it? Sure looks like it. Yeah, that's scratching it there. But up on the teeth, not really. Try the icon again up on the teeth here, which is the with a 55. It's scratching them. Yeah, definitely scratching them. So I would have to say the metal on this is a little softer by maybe 5. I'm not sure. I don't have it down to the individual number, but in increments of 5, yeah, that's what's going on there. Now, there have been other questions, whether or not these are even handy pliers. They are good pliers as far as reaching in, especially, along the tops of things, confined spaces. As some have pointed out, they're good for pulling and twisting. Here is an example. You can see I'm squeezing pretty hard. This is the icon. And as I twist this, you can kind of see the flex there. Of course that's going to happen on a needle nose. Even, I go out on these. These are pretty stout, but I'm getting kind of the same thing. Snap-on, when I did this test with it earlier, was about the same. Maybe even a little bit more flex right there. So much so that when I was testing it, I was trying to figure out if I could get away with this. They started both flexing almost the same. So that's what's going on there. But there's a massive price difference. You're talking about $95 down to $20. So that's up to you. I'm just pointing out some of the differences that I noticed. In long-term use, well, these are actually kind of hard to wear out. I have messed up the pivot on one of them. It just started to get loose, and then when you were going after something small, and boy, you can really see that. Look at that. I've got a couple of these here. Let me find another one. Here's one. Compare that lip. Boy, that is just messed up, isn't it? Interesting snap-on. Must have got a Monday one or a Friday afternoon. That's wild. Check that out. So snap-on, not impressing me with your quality control there, but that's hardly a huge deal. Bit of an overbite. But anyway, I have messed up the pivot on one of these, and that was just over time. But these definitely do have a place. But is it a $95 place? I don't know. That's up to you. I do think they're handy. I'm not going to delve too much further into Harbor Freight stuff. I mean, it is a little out of my wheelhouse, and it is kind of addicting. I actually walked around the store the last time I was there when I picked these icons up, and I had never really gone past about the first 2 aisles in Harbor Freight, you know, to look around, and they've got a ton of stuff. It felt like the dollar store. But it was interesting. They really seemed to service a lot of needs. I was surprised at how much kind of RV stuff and camping, not actual camping, you know, motorized camping stuff they had, and how many real specific things for real unique jobs, painting jobs, electrical jobs. It was impressive. That's probably the best thing though. Here we go. Bottle opener from Harbor Freight Tools. Should have given that to everybody for Christmas. Anyway, that's what I'm noticing on these two. I think they are these icons for 20 bucks. I mean, good grief, that's pretty amazing. But it's probably more amazing because I'm comparing them to Snap-on, to the price tag of Snap-on. If these Snap-on sold for 40 bucks or 35 bucks, nobody would be talking about these. But since Snap-on is charging just almost $100 for something like this that Harbor Freight's selling for 20, that's where we start, you know, thinking, what's going on? You know, something's different. Anyway, share your comments as usual. I'm always curious. I know that a lot of people are doing reviews on these things now that they're getting their hands on them. They're you know, knockoffs of things like that. If Harbor Freight, again, if you're taking requests, maybe something like this. Had heard both good and bad on these guys. I like them. It is a fairly unique tool, but if you think you can sell these unique tools for less, this would be kind of a handy one. Anyway, with that, Doc out.